This is where I live and work and play. A little harbor in Alaska that brings me great joy. So once upon a time, I worked as a state conservation officer, and with overtime I was making over $60,000 a year. And I had a youth camp where I gave back to those that were underprivileged, kids that had lost a parent, were in foster care, were abused, or never knew a parent. Life was good. I lived in this little place called Ibofet, a French word meaning place of rest, halfway between the rendezvous at Mackinac Island in St. Ignace and Manistee, Michigan, on the fur trade route. Coeur de Bois stopped there, including a Jesuit missionary named Father Marquette. It was inhabited for thousands of years by Native Americans, the Ojibwa or Ojibwe or Chippewa. And that place of rest gave me a great sense of peace, solitude, accomplishment. I was always working on it, and it became my husband. I was married to that place that I kept and managed for others to enjoy. I had 2 vacation rentals, an RV campground, and I also hosted a lot of events there, including my Angels Among Us youth camp, teaching other kids at my Wild Child Forever youth mentor program that I began. And I missed it dearly, but I ended up shooting a wolf in Canada 16 hours from my house in self-defense while white-tailed deer hunting, when I was surrounded by, or almost surrounded, 4 wolves were starting to flank me, and 2 were within 5 feet of my feet as I sat seated. And I shot one in self-defense and chose erroneously to buy a $249 tag to pay for the conservation fees and the loss of that wolf to the Canadian government. Unfortunately, the Canadian government, the Ministry of Natural Resources of Ontario, decided to make an example out of me based upon my profession as a conservation officer, and they forwarded an official request to Washington, D.C. for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to investigate me for shooting that wolf and tagging it illegally. I passed the polygraph that it was in self-defense, that they were within 5 feet of me as I sat seated, that I was actually white-tailed deer hunting and not wolf hunting, and that 4 of them were starting to flank me, and that there was 20 wolves. However, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service decided to persecute me to the fullest extent, and then some. They actually used trickery and